What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Infecting The Swarm, entitled Abyss. This is released on Lacerated Enemy Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this project, it's based out of Augsburg, Germany, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very technical, science fiction-themed, brutal style of death metal. Yeah. Infecting the Swarm is a one-person project formed by a guy by the name of Hannes Schmales. He pretty much is the main priority figure in this project. He pretty much plays and does everything: vocals, guitar, bass, drum programming. A very, very crafty sort of individual. And I learned that when I first heard his debut full-length under the Infecting the Swarm name, Pathogenesis, which came out in 2014. That album really, I thought, was how a one-man brutal death metal project should sound like and should be like. Very well put together, very smart, very intelligent, and very, very brutal. All of the qualities of a brutal death metal record were on something like Pathogenesis. The riff work, the drum compositions, the guttural vocals, it was just an all-around solid release. And I really, really enjoyed the hell out of it, and I was curious to know what was going to be coming next from this project. And now here we are with the second full-length from Infecting the Swarm, entitled Abyss. It's 9 tracks, and it clocks in at around 35 minutes in length, and pretty much Abyss takes what was used on the first Infecting the Swarm record, Pathogenesis, and streamlines things to be a lot better. This is a much more stronger, more fluid, and more well put together sort of release this time around. There is a lot to dig into with a release like Abyss, and pretty much the main thing that speaks out about this record is the fact that Hannes is a very, very gifted and genius sort of musician, and you can tell by the way he handles himself when it comes to playing guitar and bass work. Both of those qualities show up in droves here on this release. You hear it on the opening track, Entropy, but then you hear it on songs like Hypogean Awakening, Obscuring the Seventh Sun. Just some very, very good guitar playing going on here. I love the riff work. Very good. It almost feels as though you're listening to one of those current day sort of technical death metal sort of bands where you get a lot of cleanliness going with the guitar riffs, but the way he makes it sound compelling. It makes it sound all the more worthwhile, and there's really a lot of great guitar playing being done with those songs. The riffs are very memorable, they are catchy, they get stuck in your head, and especially towards the second halves of some of those songs, that's when the guitar playing is put to a lot of really good use here. I think it sounds really awesome. And the inclusion of the bass guitar makes things all the more smoother. It's very crystal clear sounding in the mix. I really like the way that this bass guitar is being utilized and handled here. I think he plays it very, very well here, and it serves as a very good counterpart to the overall domination that is the guitar playing being done on here. And when you put the two and two together, you get some really, really intelligent guitar and bass work going on here. So I really do commend Hannes for really making some really good songwriting parts go on here with some of these songs on Abyss. The drum work on here is very awesome too. I'm pretty sure that the drumming is programmed here, but it doesn't sound programmed to the point where it feels like it's going to seem half-assed. He really does a very top-tier job with how he handles himself here with the drumming on here. Really good movements, very. There's a lot of instances of where there's good snare hits, blast beats, just your pretty much prototypical sort of brutal death metal drum performance going on here. But the way everything sounds, the way everything is executed, it sounds great. It's definitely something to make you headbang, but it's also something to make you realize what type of talent is being presented here with Abyss. And another thing to really point out about the release is what I mentioned a little bit earlier, is the fact that this album has a very clean and modern sort of sound going for it. This feels very contemporary and new. Something to set itself apart from what your normal sort of brutal death metal release would sound like. I mean, this could really see something like this could stand head to head with some of the giants in technical death metal and brutal death metal with how things are sounding and how things are presented here. And I really think that this is a top tier sort of production job going on here. And when it comes to the vocals, it's pretty much the vocal style that you're accustomed to hearing from a project like this. It's very guttural, very aggressive, very powerful sort of vocal styles going on here, very deep bellowing sort of guttural vocals, and I really think that he does a very awesome job here with the vocal work being done here, especially for some of the lyrics and themes of a project like this, because this is science fiction brutal death metal that's meant to be smart, thought-provoking, and intelligent. But of course it has that underlying layer of brutality peppered in between. But I really think that this is very intelligent stuff, and I really like that a project like this exists. So overall, if you're into technical death metal, if you're into brutal death metal, if you're into a hybrid of both, if you were a fan of the first record, I think you're going to like Abyss a great deal more. I think it's more fluid, it's more precise, better guitar playing, better riffs, better bass, better drumming, better vocals. This is just an overall better release, and I think Infecting the Swarm is going to continue to make an impact in one-man brutal death metal with an album like Abyss. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Entropy, Hypogean Awakening, The Bleak Abyss, Obscuring the Seventh Sun, and Spiral Fragmentation. All really solid songs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Infecting the Swarm Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety. Hear it for yourself and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally, and it is also available physically as both a jewel case and digipack CD. Like I said, I will link you to the artist's Bandcamp so you can buy it from the band directly. I think it's also available through Lacerated Enemy Records. Whichever way you choose to purchase it, I'll make a difference for this band. So again, the album is Abyss by Infecting the Swarm. This is released on Lacerated Enemy Records. Go check this out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Very, very good stuff. Very awesome one-man brutal death metal. Infecting the Swarm knows what they're doing. So if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it and how you think it compares to the previous releases. Or any of you guys into Infecting the Swarm, let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until next time, Army Ho out.